Welcome to the webinar of How to Help Others Transmute their Karma into their Gifts of Service. I'm Nicolas, Ngan of the Centre for Conscious Ascension. So what I'd like to do is get a feel for what you bring to the webinar today, what you'd like from this, because then I'll mould it around what you guys need, because there's all sorts of different ways we could do this. I see that some of you got the book. Okay, if you're not speaking, if you can just put yourself on mute so we don't get any background noise, and the microphone is to the mic onto the bottom left. Okay. All right. And if you want to, when you do want to speak, just unmute yourself. When you finish speaking, just mute. Okay.
Hi.
Okay. Still got black, but just stay as you are, Chrissy, because we can hear you. The main thing. So I'm in London, in England. So I'd like to hear where you are and what brought you here and what you'd like from this. Okay. All right. So if many of you, even if you don't want to show your video, just you can still turn your microphone and just say you want to speak. That'd be great as well. And if you can't actually speak, then you can message me on the chat, which is at the bottom. But it's nice if you could speak. So, John, what brought you here?
So I'm from Broomfield, Colorado, and I was about a year ago on Gaia.
Yeah.
I watched an episode that you were on, and I went and found the book, Barnes & Noble, and dove right into it, read right through it, printed off my soul contract, my wife, my kids, my parents, and just started evaluating the information and saw how useful it was and how everything's balanced and it all correlates. So I'm here to learn some more information about transmuting some of the inherited karmic things that we have and how to change those things, and then just to get an introduction, and I'm looking to take the course in February.
Okay, that'd be great. Okay, thank you, John.
You're welcome.
Loretta, where are you? You have to unmute yourself.
Right, hi everybody. I'm from Nelspruit in South Africa. A friend of mine, I've actually been interested in numerology and astrology and esoteric things for many, many years. And a friend of mine actually introduced me to your book, Debbie Graaf.
Yeah.
And so, yes, and she sent the link to me and I registered and I'm here. And I'd really like to get back into doing numerology and getting back on my path and actually being there to be able to help other people and overcome my own karmic debt as well.
Okay, thank you. All right, Chrissy.
I'm in Cambridge, the UK, and really I'm not sure I should be here because I'm a complete beginner, but a friend of mine told me about the free trial on your website last weekend.
Yeah.
And we both downloaded that and we both got the Kindle version.
Yeah.
And it's very fascinating. I mean, I'm a complementary health therapist, a Reiki healer. You know, I'm a seeker. My numerology life path is 7, so I'm a mystic, and you know, everything like this fascinates me. So, and yeah, the title just really interested me. So I'm not sure I should be here. So you might say no, it's too soon. But anyway, that's me.
Well, thank you for being daring and turning up. So I think because you've turned up, you're meant to be here.
Okay, fair enough.
Otherwise, you couldn't have found it. Your friend wouldn't have given you the information.
Okay, lovely.
Yeah, it's the way this work works. It's self-selecting. You either are ready for it or you're not. It's very black and white.
Yeah.
You're either ready for the truth or you're not.
Great.
Okay.
Thank you.
Alexandra, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, of course. Hello, everyone. So I'm from France. I'm in France, and I heard about you 1 year ago. It was a friend of mine. She took your classes. She's a practitioner or something like that, as far as I understood.
Who was that?
Excuse me.
Who was your friend?
It's Lisa from England also. It's Lisa Port from England. Do you know?
Okay. Oh, yes. I remember. Yeah. Yeah.
And so she talked to me about you, about your book, about about what you were doing, and I myself, I'm doing also numerology, astrology, things like that, many things actually. And so I was interested in knowing more about what is your practice. I don't know.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, does anyone else want to share why they're here? You don't have to switch your camera on. Let me just, a couple of new people have arrived. I'm just going to switch Carol and Kay. I'm just going to invite you to join us as panelists, and you can actually speak. And just switch your video on the bottom left if you want to show yourself. It's nice to see more faces if we can. Does anyone else want to introduce themselves? So I've got a feel for what you're here for. So Kay, how are you?
Hi, I'm Nicolas. It's good to be here tonight. I suppose I enjoy connecting with any of this sort of work. I've also just been in touch with one of your colleagues, Zdenka.
Yeah.
She's recently contacted me to do some healing work, which I'm highly grateful for. I just feel so blessed, actually, and this time has come together. So yeah, I'm looking forward to more of this evening, to just learning more of the truth within us.
Okay.
So,
All right. Does anyone else want to speak? Alina or Carol?
Hi. Can you hear me?
No, you have to give your name if you're not showing your video.
Carol, but I don't see how to get the video. Oh, start video. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So where are you, Carol?
Oh, you can't see me because there's so much light in the back. I'm sorry, but I'm here.
Yeah. Where are you, Carol?
How are you?
Yeah. Where are you?
Oh, where am I? I'm in Florida, in Miami.
Okay. And what's brought you here, Carol?
Well, I saw you on Gaia and I loved it with Regina Meredith.
Yeah.
And so then I bought your book, Your Soul Contract, and I've been reading that. And actually, it's because mainly I'm really confused about my name. I have so many names and I just can't decide which one to go by. And now I may have to change my name again. And so I guess I'm just all confused. And I was really interested in all your work. And I feel like it has a lot to do with like Kabbalah, and which I like very much. And that, you know, all the things that you speak about, like really, really interest me.
Okay. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else want to join us here? Let's have a look. Who else is here? So Loretta, do you want to say hi? Or if you do, switch on your mic. Laura, you don't have to if you don't want. Alina, anyone else want to contribute before we start? You're okay, all right. And we've got Anjali, but one more person's turned up. Okay. So Anjali, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm from Toronto, Canada, and I recently read your book last year, around September or October, and I'm very interested in your work, so wanted to know more about it.
Okay. All right. Do you want to switch your camera on? You don't. Oh, there you go.
Sure.
All right. Try again.
Okay.
Are you on?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you on iPad or iPhone?
Yes. Yes.
An
I'm
iPhone.
on an iPad. Yeah.
If you put on landscape, then we'll see a bigger picture of you.
Okay.
You flip it. That's it.
Does it work?
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Okay. So what's brought you here?
Well, I tried connecting the dots, and I think some are still disconnected. So that's why I wanted to know more about, like, I know how your talents, you can use your talents to reach to your goals, and, you know, but then I think there's still more details that I would like to know.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Anyone else want to say thank you? Anyone else want to introduce themselves? And if you feel up for it. Okay. No? Okay, we'll start. So, I'm going to share the screen here and a little presentation just to speak to it. I've got a feel for you what you guys are after now. So it sounds like quite a few of you are practitioners, alternative therapists, or wanting to help other people transmute their karma into the gifts of service. And some of you are sort of at the early part of the path, trying to find out what your service is all about. So the purpose of this webinar is just to give you an overview of how the soul contract reading works, and talk a little bit about the training that's involved if you want to help others. So most people, I was going to get my little pen out here. You may have noticed that most people turn away from the biggest karmic challenges they face in their life. They turn away from the really hard stuff. I did for many years, for most of my life. And I had no idea what was going on. I just knew there were some painful things in life that I didn't want to deal with. And that led to me being very stuck. And you may have noticed a lot of other people get stuck when they turn away from their karma, because they may either try to deal with it, or they turn away from it, or they oscillate between the two. And the reason that most of us don't deal with it initially is because we have no idea what our spiritual map of life is, and that there even exists a spiritual map of life, let alone overcoming the challenges we face. It's like we're in this padded room and we're bouncing around all the time, and life seems very challenging and seems to make no sense. So the key to actually getting out of the padded room and making progress in life is to identify what our core karmic patterns are, and then how do we transmute them? How do we turn them actually into the most surprising thing of all, our gifts of service? So the biggest challenges we face in life are actually the source of our purpose. And most people go around and are saying, well, what's the meaning of my life? It seems to make no sense at all, when the biggest challenge they face contains the biggest gift, the gift of service to the world, if they would only turn towards it. Because we all feel there's something special we're here to find in our life, especially light workers, because we're very spiritual seekers. We're very programmed to actually serve at some level, no matter what. So how many of you guys on video feel that you need to serve humanity in some form?
Sure. Yeah.
But never quite sure what that's meant to be. So, yeah. So here's how we go about doing that. So our karma and the karma of your clients, if you're a practitioner, can basically contains your spiritual gift of service. And what happens is our karmic patterns, by the law of attraction, is everyone familiar with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. They actually attract through the law of opposites everything we don't like in life. As you might have noticed when you were younger, a lot of stuff happened which you would rather didn't happen. And the point of the law of opposites is that to show us everything we don't like, because if we're heading in this direction, we get a whole bunch of stuff we don't like, we're soon going to turn around and go another direction. Okay, pretty quick. And so that actually directs us towards what our gifts are. So, for example, if you were feeling, if lots of unworthiness came up, okay, and you were shy of expressing yourself and couldn't speak up at school and prepared talks, this is me, and you couldn't feel and express how you truly were, you'd then seek to find out eventually, to learn to speak up, to learn to feel, learn to find your truth. And so the very karmic pattern here, which creates everything we don't like through the law of opposites, then heads us towards what we are meant to create, which is someone to be very expressive here. I was very shy as a child. Now I won't shut up. So let's get to the next slide here. So the soul contract reading work, you decide to train in it. But in general, it applies to what it does. It decodes the secrets of the blueprint of life for spiritual seekers. hidden within the sounds of their birth name. This is the birth certificate name, which the soul designs prior to incarnation based upon looking at all your past lives. Okay, and what it does there is that if you guys could all mute actually while you're not talking, else we pick up all the background noise. Yeah. The soul looks at all your past lives and it looks at, well, what's the next logical step in evolution in terms of growth, and it picks a name which by the law of attraction will create that reality. And it picks your parents, genetics, all the significant relationships, time zone, country, culture. And once you're born and that name is put on the birth certificate, even though that's already programmed into you, into your DNA and your energy fields, it creates your reality in each moment. So finding out what that blueprint is critical for anyone on the path. And in learning how to share this with people, the spiritual map, it empowers people to overcome their karma, which we're all trying to do. For those of you who are therapists, the main thing people come to you is with issues to do with their karma, which have got them stuck. Express their talents, achieve their goals. This is like the underlying drive we have. And if you work through all the karma, talents and goals, work them all through, transmute the karma to gifts, and express talents which can overcome the karma, achieve goals, then what happens is that you can manifest your life purpose, because we're all asking, what's the meaning of my life? I used to go around asking that. And it wasn't until I'd made a reasonable amount of progress through all these here, especially the karma, that this started to reveal itself, my purpose. And when it did, that was a bit surprising, but also seemed to make a lot of sense. It wasn't like some great stone tablet came down from heaven and said, Nicolas, you're here to do this. It was like little by little, it was revealed to me what I was here to do. I mean, up until the age of 37, I was wearing a suit and sitting in a corporate office and working on high-tech projects to make other people money. I did this work sort of part-time on the weekends when I had a chance. I had no idea I would eventually look out my glass office one morning and I saw a cloud in the shape of an angel, the only cloud in the sky, and I knew that something important was really meant to happen. And then about 6 months later, I left that job to do what I'm doing now, 20 years ago. And I had no idea my little part-time therapy business was going to become a full-time business and do what I'm doing now and write books and get on Gaia and stuff like that. It just all sort of happened because I followed the path. I followed the flow of my spirit. Let's have a little drink here. So, how does this work? So just a sort of a recap for those of you who are very familiar with the work, and also for people watching the video for the first time. What we do is we take the birth name and we decode it using the Star of David here. And we have two aspects. We have a large downward pointing triangle, and this represents the physical side of life. Like Loretta, you as Loretta have only been here once at a personality level. You were created brand new by the eternal soul. And in previous lifetimes, you would have had different personalities. But you as Loretta have not been here before. None of us have been here before at a personality level. So we're all like an experiment in consciousness on behalf of the soul. So it has to form an interface, a personality to interface with the world to have this experience. So it puts on certain filters, and the first filter is the physical triangle. And this represents the physical side of life. This is how we learn to walk and talk, get conditioned responses, build relationships, education, get up and running in the world, careers. And between the ages of 35 and 42, because we use 7-year cycles here, that's a sixth cycle, this large upward pointing spiritual triangle comes online. And that's where we have our midlife crisis, spiritual awakening. I left my corporate job at 37, right in the middle of it. I thought, I can't do this anymore. It's just not serving me. And I went off and searched for my real purpose. And this is what this is about. It's where everything in our life that we thought was important no longer is important. Where we search for the deeper meaning of of why we're here, because the soul is trying to build this spiritual mission on the foundation of the physical triangle. And within each triangle, we have three aspects. We have karma, talents, and goals in the physical. And you can think of karma not as punishment, but more a set of unresolved issues that come in. The soul brings them in from past lives to create that negative context, to create the stuff we don't like, so we get clear what we do want. And as we transmute the karmic pattern, our gifts come out. I overcame my shyness and became a teacher and a communicator and a writer. I could barely pass an English exam at school. I get 50% of I was lucky in English. But now I write books. So that's an extreme polarity. I found it very hard to express myself when I was younger. And the way we overcome the karma is we take this physical talent, so it infuses in here, but it's a good match, and it transmutes the karma. As the talents get stronger, it helps transmute the goals. It helps us come into our goals. As we come into our goals, this is the underlying drive we have, what excites us in life. Gets us out of bed in the morning. Yeah, so if Zoom, you drop out for some reason from Zoom because your internet or whatever, just log on again, guys. So what happens is the energy moves from physical karma, physical talents, to physical goals. And then in spiritual karma, it's the same thing. You overcome that to open up to your higher consciousness and your gifts by bringing the spiritual talents online, which then helps you move towards the spiritual goals. So if you consciously work on all 6 aspects in this life, then you're way ahead of the game. I'm saying, if you know what these are, if you consciously work through each of these, say this is time, this percentage and completed, if you consciously work through all of these, then you start to manifest the soul destiny here. And that's when life gets really interesting and fulfilling, because you're actually carrying out what the soul wishes to do. You're carrying out your mission. And that's where life becomes very satisfying, and you step out of the normality that most people are in, which is they basically are suffering because they can't handle what they're doing in their life. And like 87% of people are emotionally disconnected from their work, which is pretty serious statistic. And this was Gallup with this poll, and it showed you most people are very dissatisfied with their lives, but they don't know anything else. But if you are flowing with where your soul wants to take you, then it's going to get really satisfying and fulfilling. And how many of you have found life's got easier the more you stay on the path and the more you align with what you love doing, not just having to pay the mortgage and the bills and all the other stuff that we got to do. This is what this work allows you to do for yourself, and it allows you to help others do as well, align to their gift. John, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, no, I really want to say something. 2 years ago at 7 o'clock in the morning, my wife and children and I were greeted by the DEA, and they took everything I worked hard for. They turned my business upside down. They bankrupted me. They threw me in $250,000 worth of debt, and I have not had a paycheck since November of 2015, and every month my bills are met. I don't know how it happens, but I know that I'm on the path I'm supposed to be on, because if I wasn't, I'd be faced with more obstacles. And every month my family is provided for without any assistance from the system. I just want to state that.
Yeah. I have something similar. The spirits guide me to do certain things in the business, and then I say, okay, you need to take 3 weeks off now at Christmas and have a rest. And I think, I don't think we can afford to take 3 weeks off. And they say, just do it. And I do. And somehow, when I look at the bank balance, it is all paid for. And it's always in a different way every time something happens. So yeah, we are provided for if we're on the path.
I think we made a contract that before we came here, that if we do what we're supposed to do, that everything we need will be provided for. Not everything we want, but everything we need will be provided for.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Yeah, I'd agree with that. So,
Sorry to interrupt. Thank you.
No, that's very good intervention. That was very useful. So, okay, so what else we got on the slides here? So have a look. Who would like a quick little reading? It has to be an English-based name though, if we can. Who would like a little taste of their soul contract? Who's not familiar with it? Loretta. I'll go for you, Loretta. Okay. I don't want to get into non-English names because it takes a little bit longer to actually work them out because this is an English to Hebrew translation. So Loretta, this is the soul contract software we use. So this is your current name, isn't it? Got that right?
It's correct, yes.
Yeah. What's your birth name?
It's Loretta Bernardine. The surname is spelled U-R-S-O.
Where's that from?
Italian. My dad.
Let me just get the Italian dictionary. I've got to check that. Hang on. Where was your dad born?
He was born in Italy in the little town of Rose in the south, in the county of Calabria.
Okay, I should check the Italian dictionary just a minute to get that right.
Okay.
Actually, sorry guys, I just need to go downstairs to grab that from another room. Just a minute. Okay, because this is an English-Hebrew translation, you see, so we have to convert it from Italian into equivalent English as it's pronounced.
Okay.
Otherwise, it won't be correct. I'm looking up my Italian phonetic dictionary. Okay, so what we do here, I need to make a slight change. See, the U becomes two O's, you see.
Oh, okay.
Also, which is how you say it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's right. Otherwise, I'll be telling you the wrong thing.
Okay.
I think that's correct.
Actually, I speak Hebrew and it's correct. It's U. Yes.
Yeah, it'd be U. So we won't put your birth date because it's going to be a public video. You have consented here. Okay, so. All right, Loretta. Is that your cat still in the background, is it?
Can you still hear him?
Yeah, again, a little bit, yeah.
All right, let me go back and move him further.
If you move him a little bit further, that'd be great.
Okay. Okay.
Thanks, Loretta.
Okay, thanks.
So what I've done is I've generated the chart, which is what the software does. So if you've got the book, the software, which is here, soulcontractreader.com, basically does it really accurately, and you just can spend your time actually understanding what it means rather than trying to figure out how to do all the maths.
Okay.
Okay, so the software gives you a free trial, then you had to pay a little bit for the different names. So what we did here, the way this works is that we have the English and the equivalent English matching the Italian, written English as it's pronounced, Italian, is converted to Hebrew sounds. And then we use 22 Hebrew sounds, because you see like TA is one sound in Hebrew here.
Okay.
Got a few more people just joined us. Yeah. I just get them to join us here. Sorry, Jen, I just saw you. Okay. So if you guys have joined us, want to show your cameras, you're welcome to. Then you can actually chat. Okay. You can talk anyway. So just switch your microphone on the bottom left. So what we've done is that we have we've converted to Hebrew. We converted English to the Hebrew. Then within Hebrew, we have letters inherent or numbers inherent within the Hebrew. And these are these numbers here. So we take these numbers and we decode them on the star data starting at physical karma. So 12, then we go 6, 20, 5, 9, 22. So that takes the first 6, and we go around. We go around the circle to actually use up all the numbers. So we form all the numbers on each aspect. And we add the numbers up. So the total in physical karma is 39. And we have interpretations from the soul of Moses here. If you guys could stay on mute when you're not talking, I'll also get a bit of feedback. Thanks. We basically have 22 numbers, and we have interpretations from the soul of Moses that Frank Alpin, my teacher, brought through in the 80s that explain what it means. So we have to reduce the 39 to the first number between 1 and 22. So we go 3 plus 9 equals 12, which becomes the first number there. Then 1 plus 2 equals 3. That becomes the second number. So Loretta, you have a pure 12 and a pure 3 here, and a blending of the number between them. So at any given day in physical karma, you could be anywhere on this continuum. Okay. And in spiritual karma, the total is 31. So we get 3 plus 1 equals 4. Because 4 is less than 22, 4 plus nothing, in this case, produces another 4. So we get what's called a double number. So it's saying while you have a continuum of experience here, you only have one point of experience, a very specific experience you're here to have with a 4. And then we work all the other numbers out accordingly. And we take the physical numbers, place them in the top half of the table, spiritual numbers on the bottom half. And then have you worked out your chart already, Loretta?
I did. My friend worked it out for me, but not taking my surname, my birth surname as Italian. So I think it actually came out different to what it is. I do have my chart somewhere else in the house.
Oh, don't worry about that. It's okay. I just wondered how far you got. So.
But yes, I would basically just worked it out, but not really going into it yet.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Hi, Jan. So we basically sum up the two totals. The first column is 31, the second column is 58. 5 plus 8 equals 13. 3 plus 1 is 4. It's the soul destiny. And we pop that in the middle. And Frank then channeled through these squiggly symbols, which are like little portals that are going to allow me to talk about your life briefly. Okay. So is there one major burning question you have, Loretta, that I can try and answer in about 10-15 minutes in this reading?
Yeah, it's definitely to actually find what I'm supposed to be doing. Okay. In the past, I've done a lot of alternative healing, complementary healing. I've done very many different modalities of healing. But the past, I would say 12 years, and especially the past 8 years, I've been through a very difficult two difficult relationships, and I feel I've gone off my path, and it's like I'm now not quite sure which way I should be going. I feel in a sense it's not the physical healing that I did in the past. I've had where I've been told I've got to teach. But with all the stuff that I've done, I don't know where to start because it feels to me like it's old knowledge. So yes, I'm not quite sure which way I've got to go.
All right. Well, this is saying here, there's 3 here, that you're an old soul. And this is called an internal canal. Okay. And deep inside your soul is ancient wisdom that you're talking about, the old knowledge.
Okay.
But what you've got to do first is get this big plug of unworthiness, which goes with the 3. A feeling of not being worthy to be loved. Is that true? You got to heal it and get it out of there. And Then what will happen is that you get access to the old knowledge, and it can come out for you to communicate to the world as a master teacher and a leader of people.
Okay.
So you're meant to teach here, and you're meant to teach with an open heart with the 7 here and here. And you're meant to be your authentic self.
Okay.
No more hiding anymore. You've been hiding, haven't you?
Absolutely, and especially the past couple of years, I'll always refer people to, people will contact me and say they want to come and see me, and I say no, and I'll refer them to everybody else and say no, I can't do it.
And you've been hiding in bad relationships where the men haven't been treating you very well, haven't you?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, because you didn't feel worthy enough to be loved here. Yeah, this is the 10-1 here. This is disempowerment by the masculine.
Okay.
So that lesson is all about you learning to respect yourself and have clear boundaries with the masculine and say, I'm worthy of being looked after, not abused anymore. Yeah? Yeah. So the 12 here, I just diverted to that because that's these two sort of go together. So the 12 here is all about the absorption and expansion of knowledge. So do you love reading lots of books and studying, but you're a big sponge?
Yes, I've got the amount of books I've got, as my one friend said, it's a library that I've actually got in all the years. And what this friend said, looking at my book, said that they can see the path that I've walked because my books are very wide, and I don't read storybooks.
You read deep, serious books, don't you?
Yes.
And you probably read 6 of them in parallel, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah. So you're here to absorb all this knowledge, then expand it, and then share it with people out in the world as a teacher.
Okay.
Okay. So that answers your first question. So teaching is the story. Okay.
Okay.
But the other thing you're here to do is you're here to empower people. And this 9 here is this great, powerful dragon. Like one of those steely black dragons you see in Harry Potter movies. So you're here to catalyze people, and you may push their buttons in the process.
I do.
Yeah, just by breathing and walking in the room, you push their buttons, don't you? And you don't know why.
No, I don't. People tend to steer clear from me, and especially, I would say, the past year or two. There were times that people would approach me and say to me, well, what do you see? And then when I do tell them, it's like I frighten them off, and then they just, they're too scared. So they basically stay away from me. So I've become a recluse.
Okay, so it's time to come out of hiding. And the people you need to work with are those who really want to grow and wake up. The professional spiritual seekers, because they're the only ones who can handle the fiery dragon in you. Okay, so they won't run away. They'll turn towards you and say, give me the flames, Loretta. Wake me up. So you're only here for the serious hunters, we call them. Don't forget the rest. On the bell curve of just normal distribution of people who are trying to wake up, you're dealing with the guys down here who can handle the heat. These are the guys here who run away. So your niche is people who seriously want to wake up. Don't bother with people who don't want to wake up, because they won't last. They won't be able to handle the heat.
No.
Okay. And the 16 here is about taking all these high-level spiritual concepts that you spent many years absorbing with your 12, bringing them down to the earth plane, grounding them, and explaining to the people with an open heart, which is the 7, in plain English. Okay. And the 7 here is about you dropping this facade of hiding because of the heart wound you had from childhood, probably from the male figure, maybe your dad. Okay. And then, Italian men aren't renowned for their emotional mobility, are they? So, and bringing out the wounded child and healing her and showing her your true, authentic, vulnerable self to the world.
Okay.
And that will draw lots of people to you, because when our heart opens to unconditional love, it draws people to either come to us and open their hearts, or they will move away because they can't handle it, because they're not ready to open their hearts. So you're here to do very heart-centered work with people.
Okay. Thank you.
In spiritual karma, there's a 4.
Yeah.
And you're here to learn to trust in the flow of life. And how's that going?
I must say, in the past couple of months, it has turned for me. Where it was the gentleman that spoke just now saying that, you know, he just knows things are will just, I've only recently come to trust, knowing that things are going to be okay no matter what.
Yeah. And so what happens as you step on this path is that you're going to be asked to take bigger and bigger leaps of faith, which may have been happening already.
Mm-hmm.
And you have no guarantee that by taking the next step, that the hand of God will be there, so in a spiritual sense, to support you. But you have to take the leap of faith first. Then the universe, God is there for you. Okay? That's actually how you're going to grow your business. Leaps of faith. But the more you trust, the more the flow of God's abundance, love, money, ideas will come to you, clients.
Okay.
But you have to take the first step.
Okay.
And the spiritual talents here is, again, a 7, but in a positive position.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is calming to learn to trust. Okay, and talent position, this is about having an open heart. This is about drawing like-minded people to you.
Yeah.
And forming a network, forming a team, actually. In fact, you're all to form teams, but especially if you've got 7s.
Mm-hmm.
Draw like-minded people together who have complementary skills.
Okay.
And you're here to facilitate and synergize the group to create a greater whole. Okay? How does that sound?
No, awesome. We've actually got a little group of ladies, which Debbie, as I spoke about earlier, she started getting us together again, and we've started doing things. And she's actually pushing me because I tend to sit back and keep quiet as well, and she's pushing me to the foreground.
Yeah.
And telling me that I have to get back into doing because in the past I did present 1 or 2 courses, and then stopped after that. But yeah, she's really pushing me. So and yes, I know that is. What I plan is by 2020 to actually really step onto my path. But it's like up until now where I've had the thing in the past that, yes, I knew all these things. It's as though I don't know anything. That is how I'm feeling at the moment, because then I get told to share my knowledge, and I say, but I don't know what. I don't know what knowledge.
See, Loretta, you actually need to be in front of a class, and you need to have a basic structure and have them ask you questions. Then it will come out of you.
Okay.
See, because then what happens is the 3 will respond. It will say, the question, the answer is deep in me. It'll dig around to here it is, and you won't even know where it came from, but it'll come out. It'll be just what they need. Yeah?
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's how that actually works, okay? So you're here to form this network and synergize a greater whole, create a greater impact from all the different parts, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And the spiritual goal you have is to learn to bring the balanced male-female aspects of God, it's called potential manifestation, to the earth plane. Spirit moves in curves. And to bring your male-female energy into balance, and to embody God consciousness, higher consciousness, to serve people. Okay. Serving others is a very strong drive in you, I would say, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
And it's about taking the energies of the Archangel Michael, the masculine aspect of God, and disseminate healing and knowledge to these people who come to you.
Okay.
And the result, the soul destiny, your life purpose, the result of working through all these outer aspects is to come to the divine feminine aspect of God, is to be the embodied expression of the divine feminine, to have a purely open, unconditional, loving heart, and to accept all things and all people exactly as they are. Okay? And in doing that, they then unlock and rise in consciousness because you've accepted them for who they are, whereas they may have judged themselves or been judged by others their entire life. Okay? So you're actually here to look after people.
Okay.
With a very open heart. How does that sound to you as a life objective?
Yeah, that definitely resonates. Yes, thank you.
So sharing that flow of the heart and feeling in your heart. It's healing your heart. What was your relationship like with your mother?
We were very close. I was, in Afrikaans we say laatlammetjie. I was a last born, but much younger than my siblings. And my mom and I were very close, but I was very cheeky. I was the only one of the 5 children that would actually stand up to my mom. But when she passed on, it took me about 7 years to actually accept her death, or her passing on, actually, not her death. But and like even now, it is 23 years ago that she passed over, and I'm still very aware of her presence around me at times. So yes, she was a very strong woman. My father was a prisoner of war, but he was a Scorpio, but he was a quiet Scorpio. My mom was a Leo, and for her age and the era that she came from, she was actually one of the first women, if I can put that went out and worked. So I always looked up to her, and from there, she became a very strong businesswoman, if I can put it like that, and then that also influenced me as well. Yes, so I've always looked up to her. Okay, so you're here to continue that flow of the strong, open-hearted feminine in the world. Okay. And the purpose is to share from the open heart knowledge and love. Okay. Because this is the energy, the setting of the energy of where we're going, and the Christ consciousness energy, just pure unconditional love, which is very rare in this world. Okay. So in summary, you're here to overcome unworthiness, to teach and empower people in plain English with an open, authentic heart, trust in the flow, serve others with unconditional love. That's what you're here to do. Thank you. How does that sound? Awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Okay. So that's a little example of how it works. Has anyone got any questions on that? Carol, do you have a question?
Yeah, I did my names and everything, but I realized that you go by the sound. So I was just wondering, the important thing is to do the sound correctly, because since it reverts to Hebrew, I guess. For example, can I just give you an example? My last name when I got married is Bibliowicz, but you say Bibliowicz, but it's spelled Bibliowicz, like CZ at the end. Should I write it on there as TZ, or do I?
This is only, the book only gives you the, can you turn your speakers down a little bit, Carol, because we're getting feedback.
I'm sorry?
Can you turn your speakers down on your computer? I'm getting feedback.
Down? Can you hear me now?
That's better, yeah.
Okay. So, no, I plugged it into the, online where I plugged in the name, but I was just wondering, the important part, I guess, is how the name sounds more than the name is written.
Yeah, you can only, it only analyzes birth certificate names, not your married name at the moment.
Oh, not the married name. Okay.
So is your birth name in Hebrew script on your birth certificate?
Oh no, it's not in Hebrew. Actually, that would not be my full name. Is Carol Diane Abadi Mishan, and they're Hebrew names. I guess. Well, not Hebrew, but Jewish names. But they sound the way that you say them, so I guess it's fine the way I plug them in.
Okay. Because if it wasn't Hebrew, we'd have to do it differently. Just put the Hebrew numbers in directly.
Right. And then and my other question was, but maybe later, is do you do the readings? Like we can program a reading with you? Like,
yes, I offer these readings on Zoom like this.
Oh, okay, great.
So we can do birth charts, and you can do your married name and families, all that sort of stuff. But the book only covers birth certificate names at the moment.
Okay, very cool. Thank you.
Yeah, when I get around to writing another book, it'll be about different overlay names and relationships and stuff like that.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, but that'll be sometime in the future.
That'll be in the future, okay.
Anyone else got any other questions about this? We suggest you have to put on your microphone. Kay.
Oh, hi. Yeah, I've started a new relationship with somebody a couple of months ago, and he's got diabetes, and I'm a nutritional therapist, and he does like the diet that I've introduced him to, but he doesn't show much interest in preparing it himself. And then also like things like tonight, I said, oh, you might be interested in these kinds of things, and he doesn't show any interest. And I feel like a little bit flat, and I don't want to be judgmental whereby like you're looking for someone so perfect. Obviously I'm a Course in Miracles student, and the task is to sort of wake up our brothers and sisters. So that doesn't mean just hang out with people that are already woken up. It means helping those, maybe he met me to wake up, but I'm just a little bit concerned for my own growth, how to go about it.
Yeah, well, it's always tempting to try and fix our partner so
Yeah.
they'll be better. So, which if you're a therapist is very easy to do, but it's actually quite hazardous to your relationship. It's better that they actually really work with somebody else. If they want to wake up. If they don't want to wake up, then there's nothing you can do. You can encourage them a bit, but and usually one person in the relationship is trying to help the other awaken. But they've got to go at the pace that they're ready for, not what you think they need, because they may not be able to cope with the speed you want to go at.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good advice.
It's usually the woman waking up the man, so we're a bit slow, most of us men, in terms of waking up at all levels.
That's average then, yeah.
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 So you got to be patient.
Okay, thank you.
He's with you for a reason, so it probably means he does eventually wish to wake up, or he couldn't be with you.
Yeah, I felt that because I just thought, well, if someone's not interested in waking up, then I can't imagine them being with me on my path, because my old relationship kind of ended because I could see that it was just not like compatible in that way, even though I thought a lot of that person. It wasn't going to happen. And I find that a lot sometimes, you don't feel somehow fulfilled in a certain area. Although I'm still willing to like have some challenges, not everything to just be kind of plain sailing.
Well, it never is it? So.
Yeah. I had a very close friend who was like a brother, lover, mentor, everything to me, who died last year, and we were so close, and we shared so much. We were on so much the same level, but we were never in a relationship, although we perhaps would have liked to have been, but I think we probably wouldn't have actually got on that well. And I miss him a lot because of that sharing that you have, that deep sharing that I have with my mum, that same sharing. And sometimes it can leave you feel a little bit lonely when you don't have that same kind of sharing with everybody.
It's going to vary depending on who you're with, really, friends and lovers and things like that. But for a relationship, if you're a spiritual being to work, you need to have someone you can share deeply with. Otherwise, it's not going to be fulfilling. And if they're not going to grow with you, then if you're not going to matching your frequency, your consciousness together, eventually it does fall apart. That's what the spiritual glue is actually what draws people and holds them together, so they can grow together.
I mean, after the workshop, like tomorrow, I'm going to have a look at the work we did at your workshop again, and review my chart, and just kind of work with that a bit more, because I've not really kind of been thinking about it recently on that, and this is kind of like made me think about it a little bit more again. So I remember having 7 as a predominant number in my chart, and you were just saying to the other lady, sorry, I've forgotten her name, about sevens, Loretta, that's it, about sevens, and I remember you saying to me about needing to share my voice with other people, not just keeping it all to myself. I think I'm probably doing a bit better with that now, probably because I've progressed with the Course in Miracles a lot more as well, and feel a lot more faith in it. I turn to everything, and it really speaks to me, so that kind of really helps.
Good. Yeah, well, you're here, you're showing yourself, that's great.
Yeah.
So, thank you. So, does anyone else have any questions about the work? Anyone else? Okay, Kay. Oh, what do you had your hand up already? Yeah. Anyone else?
Down.
If you do want to speak, guys, you just switch your microphone on. It's on the left, bottom left. It's your chance to ask any questions about it. Jan, you've been brave enough to show yourself. Do you have any comments or questions? At the bottom left. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you for asking. So I worked with somebody who trained with you to do my soul contract reading, lady that I met from a core retreat, which I believe you're familiar with.
Yeah.
So I'm very new to this. Just trying to really figure out, where do you start in, like, where would it be best to try and understand how to sort of put this together? Do you start with the soul destiny, or I don't know.
You start with the karmic position here.
Mm-hmm.
So very briefly, what's your birth name, Jen?
Jennifer.
So at the moment it's Jen M-O-N-S. Have I got that right? Yes,
that is not my birth name.
Yeah. So what's your birth name? Jennifer.
Jennifer, Jennifer, Lynn, Lynn, McCarthy, MCCARTHY.
Have I got that right?
Yes.
Yeah, we're getting a little bit of background noise there. I don't know who that is.
Yeah.
Is that you? Yeah.
Those are my kids.
Okay. So what you do, Jen, is you start, as I showed you with Loretta.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you start at physical karma. You work out what the karma is, then how to, and overcoming it, like going from being ungrounded to being grounded, which will be your gift. And then you look at what your talents are, which is to serve with spiritual energy, the 10-1. And then the physical goal again is to ground. Yeah. So you go linearly from physical karma, talents and goals to spiritual karma, talents and goals. And you work out each stage as you go through. And your main karmic pattern is to overcome disempowerment in childhood, to come into your power, to catalyze change, to be a button pusher like Loretta. Share your knowledge, ground again, find your structure of truth. So soul destiny comes at the end. Okay.
So the two. Well, actually, I don't. Reading the symbols of the soul destiny, I know that comes at the end. I feel like when I read the symbols of the other parts of the chart, I feel like I understand them, but the soul destiny symbols, I don't understand.
Yeah. Well, you're actually learning is to learn to understand structure, and it's a new structure, so you don't understand initially. So your whole life is about learning to take lots of different ideas and concepts, discern what's true for you, and build your own unique structure of truths, which is the 11, and throw away the stuff you don't want. Okay, and the 2 is to learn to take this emotionally resilient spring and to learn to unload the spring from all the emotional load you've taken on from your family and everyone else in your life, and for the spring to move up and down and flow resiliently. Because when you have too much of an emotional load, most of it not yours, it compresses the spring and you don't have any emotional resiliency. Sound about right?
Oh yeah, and I'm definitely empathic. And I also have a lot of the amoeba water symbols, and that sort of, I feel like, relates to emotions. I mean, I have 3 of them.
Yeah, you got those guys here. So it's about having clear boundaries, grounding into your body, and then learning to visit other people but not get over-involved in their stuff. Okay,
so the work really just continues to begin with me.
Pretty much, yeah. Has that helped?
That it's helpful. It's like I know it, but I need to hear it to confirm it. And of course, like you said in the very beginning, our biggest challenges are what we sort of walk away from. And,
yep.
you know, the ego wants to tell me that I figured it out, and then I haven't.
In your case, you have to feel it out, not figure it out.
Right, but I do feel a lot. So also finding that boundary.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Is it one of your children, is it? So,
yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else got any questions? Anyone who wants to show themselves?
Yes, I would like to ask you, because when I was born...
Is that Alexandra, is it?
Yes, it's Alexandra. Sorry.
Yeah.
And so my English is not very good, so I'm sorry in advance.
It's pretty good compared to my French.
So my question is that when I was born, I was given only one first name.
Yeah.
And when I was 4 years old, I was given another one, but when I was 4 years old. So in this case, what should I check?
It's the name on the birth certificate is the one to use.
Yes, but it was put when I was 4 years old, yes.
No, the one before that, when you were born, that's the one to use.
Ah, the first one without the second first name, right?
Yeah, the first name, the primary name that creates your life is the one that you were born with at the time of birth.
Okay.
Anything else is like a layer of icing. It's like an overlay name that affects the first name, but doesn't replace it.
Okay, but it will bring something to
it'll bring a different set of energies, which is called an overlay reading, which is what we look at in a full reading, where we look at different names you have and other people in your life, but it doesn't replace the birth certificate name, and that's what the book actually only talks about, the birth certificate name.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Any other questions, anyone? Just switch your microphone on if you've got any.
Hi, it's Chrissy.
Chrissy, hi.
Hi. I'm trying to find, like I said, I've done complementary therapies, I'm a Reiki healer, I'm into all sorts of esoteric stuff and mystic stuff, and I feel like I'm at a turning point and a crossroads in my life.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find the direction to go in, so otherwise I can scatter my energies, so I need to find out how to be more focused.
Okay. We'll do a quick look at your chart. Okay, it's the last question, okay? So, close this.
No, it's, oh yeah, it's current name, yeah.
So what's your birth name?
It's Christine.
Yep.
Sheila.
Yep.
Sheila.
Yep.
Gray.
Okay, so I'll give you a quick summary just to help you out here. So you're here to learn to overcome past life suppression of truth and speak the truth no matter what, and be a real pioneer. Okay. Learn to be focused, become grounded, clear boundaries like Jen, and be successful in society. Learn to overcome disempowerment by the masculine energy to serve. Find the easy way. You like big challenges of looking at this here, but find the easy way to do things and be a master teacher like Loretta, and to reconnect the source and share its flow. Be very versatile at sharing, and overall to come into your power, to be a big button pusher like Loretta. That's why you're here, Christine.
Okay.
How's that sound? That's a very long one-sentence summary of your life.
Yeah, I didn't get it all down. I was trying to write it down as you.
I'll send everyone the video later. So
okay, thank you. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
All right. So we're about time here. So I'm going to share the screen. I'll just talk a bit more about the work. So, see, most of you are therapists. So explain how you can use this if you're drawn to it. So basically, this will give you the tool, if you're therapist, counsellor, coach, consultant, we have even business consultants use this, and training facilitators use this. Because what it does is it gives you an immediate spiritual map of your clients' lives. So like Chrissy, I worked out her entire life in about 1 minute. Okay, so if you're working with clients, you know who they are immediately, and therefore once you know that, you have this profound understanding of their issues. So you're not spending ages trying to find out what's going on. You know what's going on, and when you tell them about it, they know what's going on. And so what happens is that builds great trust, because the truth of this is so powerful that it slices through all the ego's defenses of denial of what's going on, because the ego is programmed to keep us in suffering. And it will guide you and your client accurately throughout whatever work you do. So you go about 2 or 3 times faster in terms of helping people wake up. So you get much better results with people, because the truth sets everyone free, basically. There are no more games to be played when you do this. You just get on with the serious business of clearing the ego and helping your client bring their gifts online. That's how people use this. And what it can do is that you can use the work in a few ways. You can understand yourself and everyone else in your life, which is very helpful when you know how people tick, because then you're not going to rub them up the wrong way. You're going to flow with the way they work, because we're all hardwired in a certain way. No matter what you do, you might have discovered as you guys, those of you who are a little older, you realize people are just wired that way and there's not much you can do. So you got to flow with them, otherwise don't bother, because people can't help themselves. We're all programmed in a certain way. You'd learn how to give readings based on people's birth names and 22 letters of Hebrew. Learn how to channel this energy. Open your intuition up to the frequency of this work. Because when you have this information, okay, what you can do is you can integrate it with your other therapies. It serves as a really wonderful framework of guidance. So you know, here's where my client is. You figure out where they are on their chart, like I did with Loretta. And then you can apply your different therapies and recommendations to other workshops or practitioners to help someone grow as rapidly as possible, so they don't waste their time, energy, and money, and they can get on with it. It's more fulfilling. That's the beauty of it. It gives you this absolute truth, the summary of what's happening. And I don't say that lightly. I've done that for 27 years, this thing. It's always my favorite thing to do, is to help people use this to get on with their lives. And so the way we teach this is, it's not, the book is based on the teaching manual. Some of you have read it. But basically, I don't go and read the manual out to you. Basically, you learn experientially when we teach this training. You know, if you're drawn to this, you basically use your friends and family, and we give readings on them. So we cover all the numbers, and then so you can see in real life how the number works. And so you get a transmission of the number through someone's life in the book. And so it's all about transmission and reactivation of it in your DNA, and remembering how to do this. So we give 3 days of transmission, then you do 2 days of readings. You practice on each other. So we tend to find that even from the first practice reading, most people are pretty good at this, even though, you know, it's a very long book. Okay, you actually start to become the work. That's what the training is about. You become it. It's not a memorization issue. It's more an activation, becoming, and then practicing the expression of that becoming. That's the way we teach this. So it's full body memory, and as long as you practice with it regularly, you don't lose it. Okay, and so you're sort of like a truth sayer. You're connecting to the higher self of your client, and you're delivering to their personality what they need in that moment to wake up to the next step. That's what we train you to do with this. And this can profoundly change someone's life, as some of you discovered. Completely change their life in 1 hour, because you just swept away all their ego illusions and you got to the raw truth of where they are and what they need to do to move forward. Because we give you lots of recommendations, as in the book, how to deliver those to someone who's in a particular place in their life. Okay, all right. John's had to run, he just told me, because he's got to pick up the kids from school. Okay, thanks, John. So we support you if you decide to do this. We have a very active Facebook, private, secret Facebook group, where all the practitioners around the world support, peer-to-peer, support each other. We have web conferencing masterclasses for each level of the soul contract work. These 3 levels. There's birth names, relationships, and then there's business. how to use it to create the right names for your own businesses, spiritual businesses, and for your clients' businesses. And we're currently developing a holistic business development program to help you actually get out there in the world. Okay, one of my friends and colleagues is developing that. So basically the idea of this is to help you get out there and actually make a difference and wake people up, which is why this work is here. What else? What happens when someone gets a reading? Well, people have a deep feeling of peace because they hear the truth of their life profoundly accurately, usually for the first time. I had this one here, a feeling of relief to know that there was actually an order and meaning to the disparate experiences of my life. It actually all made sense. It wasn't some random thing, God throwing the dice sort of stuff, which is what I thought it was. And those who feel like victims, which I did for most of my life, enables them to take charge because they realize you take them, you're here now, and here's how you move forward from whatever place you're in to take charge of your life and change it. Okay, so it's very powerful for empowering people because they know where they need to go now. And what it can do here is that you can show them where they are in their life, and I teach you how to come up with the right recommendations so they can overcome their karma. And most importantly, align people to their soul or life purpose and how to manifest it. Because once people start to do that, life opens and flows, as we were talking at the beginning, and it gets easier and more joyful rather than just surviving in the matrix. And you really touch people with their inner being and build this strong connection. And it means all the other work you do with them can go deeper. And you can go deeper in yourself and sharing this truth. I still get a kick out of doing this work, just teaching, giving readings. So overall, the goal is so you've got your transmission of the work, you prepare the readings in the group, and you can actually deliver good ones by the end of the workshop. And then practicing it means you can get out there and wake more people up on Earth, which is why we're all here. So, any questions on that so far? Sort of a real summary of a training. No? Okay. And finally, we do the training on Zoom and in person, sorry. Okay, so these are the times. UK is 12:15, 7:15 a.m. Eastern, 4:15 Pacific. Because I can only go to about 8:30, but it's better than getting up at 2 o'clock in the morning Pacific, which is what would normally happen. And the training is a deposit of 229 UK pounds, or about $300 US. Total fees about 800 US, but over 600 in sterling. And if you're interested in this, you can find out more about the training at soulcontractreadingtraining.com. You just have a look there, or you email me. You've got my email from the joining email. Maybe some of you might turn up sometime. Be lovely to share this work with you to wake other people up. It's a very powerful way to awaken more light workers. So thank you for engaging and sharing yourselves here. It's been wonderful. Are there any final questions from anybody before we go?
Can I? I'm sorry. Can I ask something?
Is that Alexandra? Yeah.
Carol.
Carol. Yeah. Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Thanks. I just I wanted to make sure before you left. Can I have a reading with you? Is there any way I can reach you? I heard you say you have an email, but I couldn't find it.
I will be emailing the video to you guys in the next couple of days.
Okay.
Okay, and so if you go to the website, I should put a link on there for readings where you can actually book readings with me if you want. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Could I ask? Yeah. I tend to get stuck all the time with my progress. I've got like lots of skills, but I've had 25 years of eating disorders, and last year was particularly bad. I ended up in 4 clinics over a year, and I just feel like I go round in circles. Like my mind tends to go over the past and repeat the past, and then I feel a lot of unfulfilled opportunities or unfulfilled you know, it makes me feel very insecure and not much to show for life. I know that doesn't matter in God's realm, whether you've got assets or children or all these things, but I don't quite know how to apply myself to life, apply my skills and actually make a living or make life really work. I mean, I know about the creating your own reality in a thought, word, deed process, but some part of me seems to block the actual, you know, crucial bit of it.
Yeah. So, Kay, you've got your soul contract. There's two things you need to do. So, work with Zdenka on healing with divine healing, which is the other thing we offer.
Yeah.
To heal the emotional issues behind it. Then also you need to get yourself trained in how to run a business.
Yeah.
There are two things, they go together, okay?
I see, yeah.
It's not a simple answer, and you've just got to make a start. These two parallel tracks. You work on the internal clearing, because the limitation of how far each of you can go on your mission is dependent on how clear you are emotionally inside you. Okay? And then the other thing is you have to run a business properly. And most of us as spiritual seekers are not great at that, because our expertise is helping others. But you need to learn how to run a business. So you run the two in parallel, and they all feed each other. Okay, and that's actually how you get your mission out there. You can't be perfect on the inside by healing and then hope the business will run. I had one client the other day who had done 100 different trainings. She said, "Why is my business starting?" And I said to her, "It's because you're not running a business. You're just going off getting training. Unless you tell people that you're there and you deliver services, you don't have a business." And she went, light bulb went on. You're right. And she decided to stop doing any more training and learn how to run a business. You see, so that's
always courses to do that, isn't there? So to how to run your business. So I suppose you can always do that for that practical side.
Yeah, so you got to find some help to do that. Later this year, we'll be launching the holistic business program. It'll be with one of my close colleagues and friends, Jenny, where she will teach you actually how to run a business. Okay,
that would be helpful. Yeah,
it's not about being a therapist; it's how to run a business. They're two separate things.
Yeah, understand.
Okay,
that's good. Thank you. That's encouraging.
All right, it can be done. Just got to learn the principles of it, not try and reinvent the wheel. Okay.
Yeah, my mum's got her own business, and she's 75 and she still works. She has 4 different types of massage and reflexology. She teaches yoga, so at least I've got a good example.
We'll go and chat to her first and free advice, because clearly she knows what she's doing.
Exactly, yeah, and she's blind as well. So
well, there you go.
Yeah.
Thanks, Kay. Yeah. Any other final questions, people? Jen, do you have a question? No? Okay. Well, thank you for your time, and thank you to everyone who offered their lives up on a plate on the screen. It's been very generous of you to share yourself.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, thank you. The video will be out in the next couple of days once I've rendered it. Okay.
Namaste.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.